A question that I get asked all the time is, what's my favorite build that I've made? And I don't know the answer to that question. If someone said, what's the best build you ever made, I would probably know the answer to that one if I thought about it. I haven't thought about it. But if you gave me time to think about it, I could probably figure it out. But what's your favorite build? I can't pick a favorite build. By the time I get done making the build, I like it. And as I'm playing through the game, as I'm making the build, if I'm not liking it, I'll make some alterations to it until I find something that I do like. If you asked me what build was I most surprised by in terms of its effectiveness, it would be this one, the Pickaxe Mage. First and foremost, and I'll say it again later on, I'm not making this video to be like, everybody should try Pickaxe Mage. That's not what I'm saying at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This is the build that I made that surprised me with how effective it actually was. I made this build, and it was originally going to be a War Pick Mage, and no one would respect the War Pick. If I hit someone with a War Pick, they wouldn't back off, and honestly, that's kind of the right call against the War Pick. It doesn't do enough damage to make you back off. And outside of carrying Slicer, no spell is fast enough to justify, like, you know, oh, now I'm going to hit you with Slicer. And, Slicer does a lot of damage, but you don't need a War Pick to make that work. Slicer just does a lot of damage. The War Pick was kind of just not doing anything. So I swapped out the War Pick for a Pickaxe, and I was absolutely surprised by how well this worked. Between the Pickaxe, which is slow, admittedly, but between the Pickaxe and Slicer and Piercer and the Carrion Greatsword or Adula's Moonblade spell, you have all of these different speeds that you can attack at. Slicer's very fast, Piercer's pretty fast, then you've got the Pickaxe, and then you've got the Greatsword spells. That's a lot of options, so people can't really get comfortable playing against this build. And I really like that. It's very, you know, and then on top of that, like the Pickaxe, doing a jump attack with the Pickaxe does like 300 damage, and it's fast and it doesn't cost any mana. So like as an Estus punish, I'm sorry, a Flask punish, as a way to punish someone drinking, you can use the jump attack, and it just so happened that the fashion that I chose to wear for this build, I wanted to be like a Bloodborne-y kind of assassin type thing. It just so happened that it increases jump attack damage, so that was neat. Just a little coincidence. Happy little accidents. So when you're making a build like this, there are going to be certain things that you have to take into consideration. Like, what's everybody's favorite weapon to use? What does everybody love trying to hit the invader with? Does this build have a way to make that person not hit the invader with that weapon? And in the case of Adula's Moonblade, yes. Because people are terrible when they use that weapon, they have no regard for spacing at all. So they'll throw it out, and you can be standing outside of its range. You can cast Adula's Moonblade. You can hit them for a bunch of damage and proc Frostbite. And chances are they are stupidly going to try and do it again. And so having an answer to that, and not just Rivers of Blood, but like anyway, having an answer to that is really nice. Now in terms of efficiency, the Pickaxe, I listed off that it was cool, that it had like different attacks, like it had a different attack speed, and that it was slow, and that was okay since we had Slicer and Piercer. Piercer's a great roll catch, Slicer's just great, and then the Pickaxe, like I said, it can do like the jump attack for the free Estus punch or the free Flask punch. That's nice. This build would be better, honestly, if we just used 2 staves. It would be more efficient, but then it wouldn't really be my build. It would just be like, random mage build, So, again, the purpose of the video is not to be like, hey, you should totally check out Pickaxe Mage. You should try this exact build. That's not what I'm trying to. I would actually prefer to hopefully like inspire people to be like, I'm gonna try and make something weird and see if I can make it work. And if it doesn't work at first, like the war pick didn't work at first, you know, you can just make some changes to it, and you can maybe find something that is not what you expected, but surprisingly still effective, because that's what happened here. And it was a lot of fun. And you know, maybe you're tired of running around with rivers of blood or whatever. This will give you an excuse to try something different. And I'm not just saying try this. Again, that's not the point of this video. I'm saying try anything. You'd be surprised how you might be able to make it work. I've got Waves of Darkness. I just showed off Waves of Darkness. After the patch 1.05, people were like, "Oh, Saint, did you know Waves of Darkness got fixed?" I was like, "Yeah, yep." I put Waves of Darkness on this build, and back then, originally, that follow-up heavy attack didn't have a hitbox, which was, you know, kind of sad. Waves of Darkness is actually like a very interesting Ash of War. In terms of efficiency, I'm not using it to its full potential. I just use it the way I think it works. You could do a lot of nasty stuff with Waves of Darkness if you wanted to. But I mean, it's just, even if you just want to use it like it, you know, I like just using it like it looks, like you're supposed to. It's interesting. It's got the big hitbox on the hit. It's got the pulses. It's got the follow-up. It has insane hyper armor. I don't know if it always has insane hyper armor, or if it just has, you know, hyper armor since I'm using a pickaxe and that's like a big weapon. I don't know. All I know is here it has hyper armor and it's very nice. But as you just saw, like, this build can just crap out damage, and that's awesome. And it can crap out damage in a stylish and fun way, and that's like the most important thing to me. So if you were to ask me what's your favorite build, I'd say I don't know. But if you said what's the build that you made that took you by surprise, it would definitely be this one. And I think that it's a good example of you know, build making and how fun it can actually be when you just stumble across something that just happens to work. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Till then, later, y'all.